Hey everybody, welcome back to another kind of the Twitter review here from the Dead Linger. I didn't get to put mine out on Friday. Work's been kind of busy, but here we are this morning. There's actually been quite a bit this week, more so than usual. So let's just hop right on in. Now I'm going back to the 8th of March here at the very bottom, and this would be last Saturday. So this should cover a good solid week of material. So back on March 8th. Richard Keene was putting some more bug fixes, cleanup for release 13, pre-planning for revision 14, so release 14. So build 13 is done. At that point, a person could say. And I think that's where a lot of hopes got up last week. I know my hopes were up. I kept posting my daily video, and I was like, at some point, this is going to be invalidated because they're going to put the build out. It's coming. But that was back last Saturday, so I was hoping last Tuesday. Also on the 8th, he put a new aiming in. Build 13 is a lot more precise. This buck was an easy headshot from here. And here's a picture, and I don't think I saw this last time, but I didn't actually. I missed out on this one. Let's see if we can make that a little bit bigger, but I'm not quite sure what that means. Like in terms of like when I play Battlefield 4, when they say something like that, that's the aim down sight system. And so depending on your weapon, when you aim down sight, you could go ahead and actually do make the shot pattern a lot tighter. So, not in terms of like a shotgun, but just in a rifle. So if you aim down sight, and I don't know if they have in place like where it's more stable if you go to your kneeling position, the crouch. But I won't complain, which is great. Because I don't know how they had it before, where if I know they had it before where if you're aiming down sight, it was a lot more accurate, even with a shotgun, to aim down sight. But what he's saying here is it looks like they've made that a lot more precise now. So that's good, because there's not a lot of scoped weapons, and I haven't found a whole lot of I haven't found any attachments. So that could be something they revisit in the future, where you have to get scopes if you want to increase that accuracy anymore. But this is nice. Hey, any additional thing is a plus. But again, just remember, since we're deep in early alpha, gameplay tweaks and balances could come out later, because they might say, hey, this is great for the single player when you're shooting bucks and zombies, but now when you're shooting in multiplayer, if you decide to play a bandit and you're shooting at another player, or you're defending yourself in multiplayer, that might be too accurate. So it's a balancing thing, but we'll take it from there. All right, and then also later on the 18th, Jeff Keene you guys asked for an 11-minute development vlog, right? So that's, hey, yeah, I'll take it. Shoot, you guys watch my stuff, and that's 20 some minutes, and I got nothing much to contribute. But here we've got an 11-minute development blog. I almost feel like that might be too short, but it will be exciting to see when that comes out. And then here also again later on the 8th, he put, "Aw, he's so cute, more teaser." And they put this picture here. I don't have a clue what this is supposed to be. Yeah, some people commenting, it's a robot. But see, they put it here, hashtag Tower Guns, and Tower Guns is a game, so I don't know if they're putting a cross promotional thing. I haven't figured it out. I'm really not quite sure what this is for and what it's in relation to. So it's a thing. They got it. Okay. And then later on again on the 8th, this is kind of what they said. And you can't really say this is exactly what the name of the next builds will be. Placeholder names, all of that could change too. But 13 was going to be quality of life. 14th was Eye Candy Saga, which might be cool, and that might actually be when the textures and things come. We've looked at some textures that they had. So, just like when I first saw the title Quality of Life, I knew that was going to be like bug fixes and improving on things that are already in game. So when I hear Eye Candy, then that just makes me automatically assume now comes some pretty graphics and stuff like that. And that's totally fine. I know the goal of any producer is to continually be squashing bugs and improving content and stuff, but at some time you're going to have to work on making the game more pretty. And I know that that's something that we have discussed plenty of times, whether it's been in comments or me coming out on the videos and saying, yeah, the game is ugly, ugly but playable. So that's a nice thing to see. That hopefully that's what eye candy means. It's going to be some of the textures and graphic improvements, and then later down the road, Sirens of the City, which is cool because earlier they did tease some lobby pictures, and well, we might even see some of the lobby pictures in the rest of this Twitter review. But they were working on like a huge skyscraper looking structure. And so that would be cool to actually have something that looks more densely packed like a city versus just a bunch of rural houses everywhere you go. So that's cool. But as we've seen, depending on how their development cycle continues, if Build 13 brings us kind of the new game experience that I'm hoping for, we might actually get to see some more people come into the game, and then that might help shorten the development time in between their builds as they get a little influx of money. So every step forward, every build forward is just a super chance to see the game grow, not only as a game, but possibly in community that supports it. On the flip side of that too, though, we shouldn't expect any growth, because an alpha is that. It's pretty much the company just putting together the game. So as much as I would like to see the community grow and them to get this influx of money so they can hire more people to work on the game, this is the pace we have. So it could possibly be a good solid months between builds. So we won't even see the city, shoot, for a good while from now. But it's nice to hear that at least a couple planned expansions down the road. All right. So anyway, they put down here, this person submitted a picture. They were trying to build a house when they turned and they saw this. Let's blow that up. Yeah, yeah, that would not be cool. And the problem that I have with that is, well, yeah, let's see, what does he say here in the picture? He says I can see a legit 200 zombies, and then he goes, never mind, 300, 400 as he's running through them. I tell you, that's the thing that impresses me most about this game, is the fact that they can handle that many characters on screen. I shouldn't say characters, but they can handle that many zombies on screen. So when they talk about their herds and all that stuff, it's possible that you can just find yourself totally surrounded. And what is so nice about the game, because the world is so big, man, if I found myself in that situation, I could either run around until I hit the refresh and then it despawns all those zombies, or I could say, you know what, let me fill up my backpack with some food and stuff like that. I'm just going to take off and go find another place that isn't surrounded by zombies. Like that's just the beauty of the game. Well, not that you can hit a refresh and make them all disappear, but that you can just, pack up your bag and say, you know what, we're out of here. But that definitely would make me think twice about, do I want to build my house there? So that's a nice picture. And that was on a Sunday, 9th March. And then also on Sunday, Jeff Keane said, not sure if we mentioned it, but dragging is back in. Cool, because I didn't have dragging before. And then as I went and looked at a couple posts, like expanded on Jeff Keane's Twitter feed, and I think this is also covered in the Reddit, but basically what they're talking about is like clicking on furniture and being able to actually move it instead of just running into it. That's cool, because that's something I wondered about. I've tried to move stuff before, and really all I could do was run into it. So it'd be nice to see what all you are allowed to drag. Somebody mentioned something about being able to drag corpses, and I didn't get a positive confirmation on that. But that would actually be cool if we could drag the corpses around. They disappear, so it's not like I could really make a wall of corpses to keep the other zombies out. But hey, when it's in, I'll be willing to play with it and see what I can do with corpses. Because I have noticed, like, if I chop some lumber into the wood, like when I chop a tree down, if I just let the wood sit there on the ground, it disappears after a while. But if I like pick it up and then drop it back into the world, it doesn't disappear. So I'm wondering if maybe if you leave the corpse there, it'll disappear. But if you pick it up move it, I don't think you could put the corpse in your backpack, but like if you pick it up and move it, I wonder if it then treats it as like a player asset and it won't disappear. Ooh, so some thoughts there. A wall of corpses. Just makes me think of the 300, the movie 300, when they're building that wall at Thermopylae and they put a bunch of Persian bodies into it. Not trying to be, offensive to any group, but just that was a scene in the movie and it was very intimidating and scary. So can you imagine if you kind of took that concept into your multiplayer and that's what you built all your defenses out of, was like the corpses of dead people that you shot. Ooh, very intimidating. Then on the 9th, Jeff Keane says, the tiny thing coming in Build 13. Graphic settings now has a drop down for windowed and full screen. You can change it on the fly in game. Which, I mean, that's nice. I have seen now from my own personal playing preference that windowed actually performs better than full screen, which is normally opposite for me. But I won't mind changing it and trying it and experimenting between the two, because if they've put any kind of graphic I shouldn't say graphic, but performance improvements in, I might be able to play it full screen. At this point for the game, it really doesn't matter if I play windowed or full screen. I'm just going to play the one that gives me the better performance. So the drop down would be nice, because then I could try between them and experiment. I like that too, because just sometimes, like if my full screen performance is as good as my windowed performance, sometimes I like to play in full screen just because everything seems to fit better on the screen. But then if I want to be able to hit the Google or do something outside the game, just to be able to flop it right into windowed mode and then go do the option. Like I said, options are great. I think the best games are the games that give you lots of options and lots of ways to play your game. And that's just another way to improve upon your gaming experience. So I'm okay with that. Doesn't mean I'll use it personally, but I like to test things out, so I will try it when I get it. And then later on that Sunday, he put Build 13 is basically a whole new game. Bikes, way improved gunplay, better zombie AI, more balancing. And so that came out Sunday. And so a lot of folks, including myself, were thinking that last week was the week that this was coming. So that was like the big anticipatory build-up, like, yeah, it's on its way. And then also that evening, I don't know if it was in the evening, but also on the night, here's a great Build 13 mega thread Reddit. A Reddit user put together. And yes, if you come to the site, click the link from the Twitter here and follow it out to their Reddit page. It is actually a really good put together thread that lists, like here, I'll just show you. We've looked at this once before, but it's really, really cool in the fact that it's almost like they took every Twitter post regarding the content of Build 13 and stuck it into this Reddit thread, which is awesome. And they continue to add to it too as the days have gone past. So it was nice just to go back and take a look kind of historically the things that were being put out. Now I know the team has their own patch notes, so for those who are interested, at some point it'd be cool to put them side by side, and go, here's what was said was coming in the post, and then here's what they actually did. But no, it's a nice effort, especially because who's got time to sit down and watch all my videos that talk about the Twitter reviews and all my speculations, and when you can just come here and read it, just a nice concise gathering of those posts. So good, enjoyed it. And then on the 9th, so the Sunday was busy. It was, speaking of the patch notes, he says there's about 101 items on the patch note so far, and some of the really big features changes. And I click these, and those really don't take you to anything. So again, following back to what the thread that Reddit user put together, that was their own list. They got about 101 items, so that's huge. All right, and then on Monday, Richard Keane had put more little fixes and cleanup. And then on the 11th was the final team meeting before we release Build 13. Time for teases of future things. So that was on, I believe that was the Tuesday. Tuesday when I saw that, I thought it would be coming like in a day or two. Like, the build is done. We had our team meeting. Let's release the thing. But instead, yeah, here comes some of the teases. So he put here oink, and it's a picture of like a warthog, which is actually pretty good, just as a basic 3D model of a warthog goes. So that would be cool to have that as another animal. That'd be, I would even see that as being a possible, huntable animal, but might be cool as a like a aggressive non-infected animal. So be careful, because this thing will hunt you down kind of like the dog does, but at least you won't be infected. So that would be a cool thing to see. And then on the 11th, also then on the 11th, they put here's the picture of the lobby I was talking about. So here was like just kind of a rough put together lobby inside the, I'm guessing that could possibly be inside the structure of the big huge building they showed previously, which might go with their release of the Siren Night or Siren City, whatever I called it, but City Siren Night, Siren City Nights. I'd have to go back and look, but that would be very cool to see that some interior shots here of the big buildings that they have going up. And then what's cool is if they built these houses kind of modular-ish, well, I shouldn't say the houses, but these big office buildings. What I'm understanding from the houses were that the houses at some point were different modules. So there was like, living rooms, bedrooms, upstairs, downstairs. And when it was drawing in the house, it would take these different modules, slap them all together, and you could randomly have these houses created. And I think they said that's what they use. I can't remember all the specifics, but what would be cool is if they then took the buildings that they have in a similar concept and could make them randomly different heights. So you might have some that are like maybe 10 floors high, some that are 15 floors high, and then randomly stick those created buildings inside of a certain size of area. Then that's almost like an instant city, almost like an instant downtown block of a city right there. And that would be very cool to see as this gets fleshed out more. Alright, so almost done here. So then on the 13th, what was the 13th? That was their Friday. My Friday. That was Thursday. Okay, so the last tweet that I had was actually on Thursday, where it said that Build 13 is currently in testing, a few days until release, give or take. So I'm not sure if a few days to them is the same as a few days to me, but in my mind, I'm hoping that means, ta-da, coming up on Tuesday. So I heard they like to release on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so fingers crossed that it's coming up. It could be another week. At this point, I've learned to just accept that they don't ever put releases until they actually know for sure that it's going to come out on a particular day. But that a few days until release gives us some hope. And I am excited because the way he's described it as almost being a brand new game. So we'll wait and see. Alright, but that's Build 13. Twitter update for the last week. Share any thoughts and comments that you have. But, that's just some of my thoughts here on the upcoming release. Alright, everybody. Thanks for checking things out. Enjoy. Well, by the time you see this, the weekend's almost over. But have a great rest of your week coming up. And hopefully I'll see you in Build 13. No, I'm almost, no expectations. But hey, if Build 13 comes out and they got some multiplayer, let's see if we can get together someday for a multiplayer game. Alright? Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.